Right now, as you listen in the dark, something with 8 glittering eyes may be closer than you think. Most people on Earth will sleep tonight within just 3 feet of a spider.
You probably won't see it, but it will quietly taste the air, with tiny hairs on its legs and fangs built to pierce like biological needles. To count as a true spider, an animal has to tick a few very specific boxes. It lives in the class Arachnida and the order Araneae, and every member comes standard with 8 jointed legs instead of the usual mammal 4. Unlike insects with 3 body parts, spiders are built from just 2 main segments, fused like a nightmare dumbbell. The front tagma is the cephalothorax for the legs and brain, and the rear bulging abdomen holds the gut, the silk glands, and a pulsing mass of soft organs. At the front are the chelicerae, paired mouthparts tipped with hollow fangs that work like tiny venom syringes. Behind that, at the rear of the abdomen, sit the spinnerets, flexing nozzles that can lay down silk thinner than a human hair, yet strong for their microscopic size. So, here's the first big clue: it's a spider and not an insect. It walks around on 8 legs instead of 6 legs. Insects usually wear those long antennae like built-in selfie sticks, but spiders have no antennae at all, and rely on the ultra-sensitive hairs on their legs. Even the eyes give them away. Insects often have giant compound eyes made of thousands of tiny lenses, while most spiders stare back with a few simple mirror-bright eyes that look disturbingly like tiny glass marbles. But our brain just mashes all of that into one lazy category, labeled bug equals nope. Spiders don't have big camera-style eyes like ours. Instead, most have 8 tiny, simple eyes, called ocelli, that work like dark-adapted pinhole lenses. Each ocellus just captures a small, sharp slice of the world in the dark. Those little black marbles are usually arranged in species-specific patterns, like 2 rows of 4 in wolf spiders, or a huge front pair in jumping spiders. Arachnologists can often identify a spider just by the footprint of its eye pattern. Eye layout also betrays hunting style, with ground hunters like wolf spiders having forward-facing eyes for depth perception, and web builders like orb weavers having side eyes tuned for vibration-triggered movement. In the dark, each glittering eye becomes a specialized sensor for either chasing prey or waiting in ambush. Jumping spiders are the visual snipers of the spider world, with 2 huge forward-facing principal eyes that give them near HD vision at close range. Those central eyes can resolve details several times better than most other spiders, which is why they stare back when you move in for a look. Inside each main eye, the retina is layered like stairs, letting the spider shift focus and judge depth with eerie precision. Some species can even see colors into the ultraviolet, turning their world into a spectrum we literally cannot imagine. They use this supercharged vision to stalk and pounce on prey like tiny daytime panthers, plotting careful routes before launching their jump with surgical accuracy. In bright light, a jumping spider can track motion and judge distance better than many humans without glasses. Those needle-like mouthparts are called fangs, and each one is mounted on a muscular, hairy chelicera that works like a hypodermic syringe. Hidden just behind the base of the fang is a venom gland, a tiny, pressurized sac that can pulse fluid down a narrow, hollow channel. When the spider bites, muscles squeeze the venom gland and force the liquid down the fang and straight into nerves,
blood, or soft tissue. For some species, a single bite delivers less than a droplet of venom. Yet that microscopic dose can completely shut down a nervous system. Neurotoxic venoms target ion channels in nerve cells, scrambling electrical signals so muscles lock, lungs stop, and the body becomes a rigid, silent prison. Cytotoxic venoms do the opposite kind of horror, breaking down cell membranes so flesh literally digests itself into a leaking, liquefied meal. Spiders don't chew their food at all. They turn the inside of their prey into a nutritional smoothie. They inject powerful digestive enzymes through the bite, and those chemicals slowly dissolve muscles, organs, and soft tissues into a slurpable soup. As the tissues break down, the spider simply drinks, using a muscular, pumping stomach to suck up the liquefied insides like a macabre milkshake. In some species, up to 80% of the prey's body mass is reduced to a hollow shell of skin and crunching exoskeleton. You might see a half-wrapped insect that looks mostly intact, but inside it's just a bag of spider-made soup. When the spider is finished, it calmly drops the drained carcass, leaving behind a weightless little corpse that used to be a fully living animal. At the tip of a spider's abdomen, tiny muscular nozzles called spinnerets squeeze out liquid silk proteins that harden the instant they hit air. Each strand is built from long chains of fibroin molecules that lock together into crystals, creating a biological cable on the scale of a few micrometers. Dragline silk, the stuff of web frames and lifelines, can be as strong as high-grade steel of the same diameter, yet stretch up to 5 times its length before snapping. That combo of tensile strength and elasticity makes spider silk one of the toughest natural biomaterials ever measured. Different silk glands act like a built-in factory line, with one set secreting stiff dragline silk, another producing sticky capture threads, and others spinning soft wrapping silk or fluffy, shock-absorbing egg sac silk. A single spider can switch recipes in milliseconds, tailoring its silk chemistry to the exact job it needs to. In slow motion, the spider lays out straight, radial threads, first anchoring them like the spokes of a perfectly tensioned wheel. Then, it walks those lines to add a sticky spiral, spacing each loop with precision, so forces spread evenly through the web's geometry. Each radial thread is kept tighter than the spiral, so impacts travel fastest along those stiff lines like vibrations in a drum. When an insect hits, ripples race toward the center at up to several meters per second, turning the web into a finely tuned signal network. The spider can't hear with ears, so it listens through tiny slit organs on its legs that measure changes in web tension and air movement. It can tell prey type, size, and direction just from those ripples, like a disgusting little living motion sensor network. Some spiders build classic orb webs and just wait, turning sticky threads into silent tripwires that grab anything light enough to struggle. They tune in to the exact vibration pattern of a fly, a moth, or even another spider caught thrashing in their web. Others skip webs entirely and lurk as ambush predators, like crab spiders that sit motionless on flowers and grab pollinators with legs built for sudden bursts of power. Wolf spiders stalk on the ground, with sensitive leg hairs detecting tiny air currents from moving prey. Jumping spiders use their sharp vision to track and calculate distance before launching themselves several body lengths onto victims like living, eight-eyed snipers. And then there are bolus spiders, which swing a single droplet of gluey silk, scented like female moth pheromones, literally fishing hypnotized males out of the air with a sticky pendulum. Some spiders don't chase at all. They wait in booby-trapped burrows like trapdoor spiders, hiding under a camouflaged lid of silk and soil that snaps open faster than a blink. Sensitive hairs on their legs detect the tiniest footsteps as pressure waves in the ground, turning dirt vibrations into a living alarm system. When an insect walks past, the spider explodes out in a few milliseconds, dragging the victim underground so fast the ground seems to swallow it alive. After seeing that, you will never casually stroll past a random hole in the ground again. Funnel web spiders take it even further, building silk tunnels that radiate out like tripwires, each strand transmitting vibrations with terrifying clarity. Some species, like the Sydney funnel web, can rocket from the tunnel mouth with fangs bared and potent neurotoxic venom, ready, turning an innocent-looking silk tube into a medical. Instead of ears, spiders are basically walking antennae, reading the world through forests of ultra-sensitive hairs on their legs and body. These mechanoreceptor hairs can bend from air movements smaller than a single micron, letting a spider detect the direction and speed of the tiniest vibration. At the base of these hairs sit tiny, stretch-sensitive neurons that fire when the hair tilts, instantly translating airflow and touch into electrical signals. To a spider, your nervous footstep on the floor is basically a screaming megaphone of vibrations. Then it gets worse. Their legs are lined with microscopic cracks in the exoskeleton, called slit sensilla, which deform when the leg bends and let the spider feel strain as finely as a high-end engineering sensor. Many species react to movements smaller than a nanometer. So in a quiet room, at the tips of each leg, spiders have tiny sensory hubs called tarsal organs that act like ultra-sensitive chemical scanners. These organs are packed with pores and receptor cells that pick up faint traces of smell and taste from dust, leaf litter, or your bedroom wall. When a spider slowly taps its legs along a surface, it is literally tasting molecules through those tarsal organs instead of licking with a tongue. To a spider, each careful step is a sniff and a sip, rolled into one creepy little probe. They can detect prey chemicals, pheromones, and even the difference between safe ground and toxic surfaces, using those chemical sensors. So, when one creeps across your skin, you are being explored by 8 walking, hairy, 8-legged noses. For many species, approaching a female is like walking into a loaded mousetrap, because the male is often less than 1/3 her size. He inches forward with visibly trembling legs, sending carefully timed taps and low-frequency vibrations to say, in spider language, that he is a lover and not lunch. These signals travel as vibrations through the web or the ground, and females can distinguish a clumsy prey impact from a precise courtship rhythm with frightening accuracy. In some jumping spiders, males add colorful leg waves and abdomen dances, turning their last-ditch survival strategy into a tiny, 8-legged musical performance. If he gets the pattern wrong, or moves too suddenly, the female's predatory response can override any romantic interest, and she may attack him as just another nutrient-rich snack. Natural selection has brutally filtered these courtship codes, so every surviving male is essentially a specialist in not becoming dinner during mating. In many species, the courtship ends with sexual cannibalism, where the female literally eats her mate, after or even during mating. This is not just horror movie drama. In species like some orb weavers, a single male body can supply up to 10% of the female's total lifetime nutrition. For the female,
Devouring a partner provides high-quality protein that boosts egg production, survival, and the number of spiderlings she can hatch. For the male, this creates ruthless selection pressure, because only those that mate quickly, transfer more sperm, or time their approach when the female is well fed, avoid being instantly recycled as nutrients. Some males take this even further and actively sacrifice themselves, like male Australian redback spiders that somersault into the female's fangs while still mating. His self-offering lets her feed longer on his body, which increases his sperm transfer, boosts the number of eggs fertilized by him alone, and turns his death into an extreme evolutionary investment. Spiders wear their skeleton on the outside, and that tough armor cannot stretch. So to grow, they have to crawl out of their own bodies, in a process called molting. Just before a molt, they swell their bodies with fluid and enzymes that loosen the old exoskeleton from the soft, living spider underneath. During molting, a crack opens along the old shell, and the spider slowly drags itself out, leg by leg, using hydraulic pressure from its blood-like hemolymph instead of muscles. In some species, this entire escape can take over an hour, and one torn, stuck leg can mean right after it escapes, the new body is pale, soft, and almost jelly-like, with wrinkled cuticle that will harden into fresh armor over several hours. In this window, the spider's fangs, legs, and abdomen are so fragile that a single raindrop or hungry neighbor could crush this temporarily defenseless predator. Even our biggest spiders, like the Goliath bird-eater, top out at around 30 centimeters leg span and about 170 grams in mass, which is roughly the weight of a large apple. That sounds tiny until you imagine that much hairy, armored spider pressing down on your hand. Spiders stay small because their exoskeleton and muscles do not scale well. And if you doubled their size, their weight would grow faster than their strength. At building size, their legs would snap, their joints would crush, and their soft organs would collapse under their own weight. They also breathe through passive book lungs and tiny tracheal tubes, which work only because oxygen can diffuse quickly across very short distances. Scale them up to monster size, and the center of the body would suffocate in its own nightmare shell. So, as horrifying as they already look, physics kindly stops spiders from ever becoming skyscrapers. When people hear deadly spider, they usually picture a black widow, a brown recluse, or the Sydney funnel web. But out of nearly 50,000 known spider species, only a few dozen are truly medically significant to humans. Medically significant means bite is capable of causing serious illness or death without treatment. Not that every encounter is a guaranteed emergency. Despite their horror movie looks, most widows, recluses, and funnel webs never bite people. And even confirmed bites are rarely fatal with modern anti-venom and hospital care. Many terrifying stories are myths. Brown recluses are blamed for ulcers they never caused, and black widows are said to kill with a single nip, despite almost no deaths in healthy adults. The real risk is tiny, compared to everyday dangers like cars or ladders, even when you're staring into 8 glistening, venom-loaded spider eyes. Spider venom isn't just for killing prey. It's a biochemical toolkit of hundreds of different toxins that target nerves, muscles, and blood in exquisitely precise ways. Researchers catalog these molecules like a twisted pharmacy, because each toxin can hit a specific cellular switch with surgical precision. Some funnel web spider toxins are being turned into experimental painkillers that block pain signals without the addiction risk of opioids. Other species have venoms,
that protect heart cells during cardiac arrest, helping them survive low oxygen and deadly stress. Because many spider toxins lock onto nerve channels, they've become powerful tools to map the brain and design new drugs for epilepsy and stroke. The same chemistry that fuels our nightmares may one day sit quietly in our medicine cabinets as life-saving treatments. Spiders are one of the planet's most important pest control armies, quietly killing mosquitoes, flies, and crop-eating insects before we ever see them. Globally, biologists estimate spiders devour an almost unimaginable 400 to 800 million tons of prey every single year. That's on the same scale as the annual meat consumption of all humans on Earth, except spiders are eating insects that would otherwise swarm us. Every mosquito a spider grabs is one less bloodsucker that could spread malaria, dengue, or West Nile virus to nearby humans and animals. Out in the fields, orb weavers and ground-hunting spiders silently thin out caterpillars, beetles, and leafhoppers that chew through crops. By slashing pest numbers before outbreaks explode, spiders save farmers billions of dollars in lost harvests and reduce our dependence on chemical pesticides that poison. Spiders quietly patrol almost every habitat on Earth, from leaf litter to cave ceilings to the corners of your ceiling, removing billions of insects before we ever see them. They might trigger your fight or flight response, but ecologists see them as one of the planet's most efficient natural pest control systems. In a forest, removing spiders in experiments often leads to explosions of plant-eating insects and damaged leaves within weeks. That means every tiny ambush in the moss, under bark, or in your basement is part of a global web of balance we barely notice until it breaks. So, conservation biologists now track threatened species of trapdoor spiders, jumping spiders, and cave spiders the way we track wolves or eagles, because losing them can unravel entire food webs. You don't have to love seeing 8 glossy eyes staring back at you, but protecting them is. So now you know the fangs, the hairs, the venom, and the eerie logic behind these 8-legged nightmares. The more we expose the science, the less power they have as pure nightmare fuel. So next time you see one on your wall, maybe lean in a little closer and look at the animal, not just the monster, if you dare.